What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Smart Talk. We're talking about real struggles, real stories, and entrepreneurs that came from the ground up. Today, I got my boy Ellis and Tyler in the building.
Yes, sir, man.
How's it
Happy to
going,
be
man?
here.
What's up, you guys? How
Good.
are y'all?
Doing good, bro.
Best.
Y'all look a little nervous, bro.
First time, bro, for
First
me.
time?
He's done it though. He's been on TV a couple times.
Yeah.
Several times.
You
yeah.
look famous, bro.
Thanks, bro. Well, nah, man, it's the best day of my life, man.
Hey, shit, man. I appreciate you coming up here, bro. I've known you for a while, dog. You've always been a cool cat to me, dog. You've cut my hair a couple times. We chit chatted and shit about business stuff like that. I've seen you done big moves on Instagram. I know you brought your business partner with you here. So let's get into it, bro. So tell me a little bit about yourself, bro. If you want to go ahead.
Well, my name is Ellis. First and foremost, before I'm a barber, before I'm a coach, I'm a man of God. I serve Christ. I live for Christ. Before I do anything else, bro, before I start my day starts with God. So that's first and foremost. That's who I am. And there was a time, bro, when I didn't tap into that identity, when I thought I was something else, when I was searching and searching to see what I could become, what my purpose was, what I was meant to be. And it wasn't until I found Christ, bro, that it changed my life and gave me true purpose, gave me true confidence, true identity. I tried getting confidence from the world. I tried getting confidence from myself. I tried doing the whole affirmations of I am this, I am that, I could do it. Nah. At the end of the day, I tried. I had little success. It wasn't until I gave my life to Christ completely, 100%, left nothing for myself, that everything changed, bro. I'll just put it this way. This past month of January of this year, I've accomplished much more than the past 2 years by myself. So that's just a testament of what God is doing in my life. But yeah, I'm a barber. I've been a barber for 5 years, low-key transitioning out of that because I'm getting busy in coaching. I'm coaching men to become true men of Christ, true men that know how to lead, that have good morals and values, that love others, know how to serve others before being self-serving. Just men of Christ overall. I think there's a misconception that men of Christ are weak, that Christians are weak, and I'm here to help men get over that. Men of Christ are not weak. Men of Christ should not be weak. There's actually a quote, I think it's Gandhi, who said that Christians have such a great Christ, but such little Christians. And I'm here to say that that's over with. That's over and done with. Weak Christian men can stay over there in the corner, but real men of Christ are going to stand up and take a step forward boldly for Christ.
Mm-hmm. So what was the mind shift change where did you feel like you were depressed, or do you feel like you didn't know who you really were? Is that why you kind of reverted back to Christ?
So I never abandoned Christ. My parents were pastors. I grew up in church my entire life, so I never left God or left church. I just wasn't fully invested. And the Bible says that he who admits Jesus as Lord of their lives will be saved. So I thought I had done that, but I really didn't because I would do the prayers, I would do the Bible reading, I would go to church, but deep down I had never fully committed. I had only given him part of me. And there was a time where like my main focus was money. My main focus was building myself financially free and being the best version of myself. And I realized that I couldn't do that with God. So it wasn't until um, I'm doing all the things right and something is still missing. Like I go to sleep and something is missing. Something is missing and in my brain something is like bugging me because I know something is missing. And I thought I had it right. But it wasn't until I said a prayer where at the time I'm struggling with lust. Um, I'm falling into lust and this is the one thing that put me off my purpose. That completely screwed my purpose, my vision, my momentum. It affected my work life. It affected my relationship with God. It affected my relationship with my family. All around, bro, lust ruined me. And it wasn't until I gave it to God, because it was something that I was struggling with, that I wanted to get over. 1 week in, I was like, all right, 1 week free of lust. Or 2 weeks, a month. Then boom, I'd fall right back into it. And every time I fell, I'd be guilty and shameful about myself. So it was one night that I just got on my knees and prayed to God. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Help me. Like, I give it all to you. I give it all to you. And then it was in that moment of surrender where I gave him absolutely everything. I kept nothing for myself. My body, my mind, my work, every single dollar that I earned belongs to him. And it wasn't until that moment that everything started to change. And like I said, it's been a month of just consistency and growth that it's just amazing what God has done in my life, and everything that I am right now is just thanks to Him.
Mm-hmm. So I know you told me before the podcast that you were scrolling on Instagram and you saw a post about a community or a group that, really focuses on that. You want to kind of dabble into that?
Yeah, bro. So in my journey of self growth and becoming a better person, I learned a lot from a lot of great men, many of them millionaires, many successful guys. That one of the main things that they say is that you are who you surround yourself with. You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend your time with. Um, and there was a time where I was alone on my walk with Christ, and just alone in general, just do my own thing. I wouldn't hang out with certain people because they didn't have the same vision and mindset that I had for myself, whether it's the partying or the girls or the drinking. I don't do that. I don't think that benefits me, so why would I partake in that? And so I pray to God. I asked Him, um, help me find men like that can help lift me up, support me, be like real like friends in my life. And so Tyler actually came up on my suggested, just random, and he seemed cool. He like football player for UNM, so I just followed him, and like in a couple of days he posted something about Men of Valor, and I saw it as an opportunity. I'm like, well, this is exactly what I've been looking for. So I slide up on his story, and it's a men's Bible study group. And ever since that, bro, I actually started to understand what the Bible meant. I had read the Bible front to back like 3 times. It had never penetrated as deep as it did when I went to Bible study, where I actually understood what it meant. I actually understood what Jesus did for me and how real and significant He is. So throughout that, bro, like that process really helped me dial in with my relationship with God. Without the men of God that God placed in my life, without Tyler and the group that he started, I probably wouldn't be where I am today.
Mm-hmm. So you want to introduce yourself, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm Tyler Keeney. I'm 23 years old, and yeah, man, been a pleasure to see him grow and become the man that he is today.
So how were you like growing up? Because obviously, if
Yeah,
you lead a group of men, bro, you've always had a good head on your shoulders, or I'm sure you went through shit in your life where
yeah,
you feel like this group is essential for people.
yeah, man. Little bit about me. I'm born and raised here. I grew up in Las Lunas, which is about 20 minutes south of here. But yeah, man, I've always had this sense of vision or hope or optimism, or I don't even know what to really call it, but I've always seen everything as possible. I've never seen anything as impossible. And so I grew up, and I have to thank my parents for that. I have great parents. And they really instilled that mindset into me of like, man, you can be and do whatever you think you can do. And no matter what it is, if you apply yourself, you can do it. So I took that to heart, man, and that's what I stand on today. So when I was younger, obviously I'm a pretty big guy, so I fell in love with football my freshman year of high school. And so after that, I just grinded, man, and I became obsessed with my craft. Like, something I've never experienced still to this day, the amount of obsession that I had. And long story short, I became this version of myself that was so disciplined. My integrity, dude, was like, I would not compromise on anything. I would wake up, I was so disciplined, I was so consistent. And thanks to that character that I developed on my own, I became a top prospect in the football world. I was the #1 recruit out of New Mexico here for my junior and senior year of high school. I had several Division I offers, and then I ended up going to UCLA. So I played there under Chip Kelly.
Oh shit, that's
I
sick,
played
bro.
there under Chip Kelly for a year. Had a lot of famous teammates. Now Zach Charbonnet just won the Super Bowl. He was one of my teammates there. So, I played a year there. Then I decided it was time to come home and play for the Lobos. Just some things happened, and I transferred back home. So I spent the last 3 years here playing for UNM. And, so that's kind of been my journey so far. I'm doing a lot of things now that we can get into later, but that's been how I grew up. I did go through some things, man, like family issues and stuff like that. And that took a pretty big toll on me because it left me with I don't know what you'd call it, but this hole inside of me. And the way that I found to fill that hole was with football. So I felt empty, or I felt like I needed to earn something from everybody. And like I felt like nobody respected me. And so I walked around angry, bro. I played angry. Like, I got on the field and I literally tried to kill people. And it was legal for me to do so, you know, and that's why I loved football so much, is I could express my anger without getting backlash for it. And so I tried to fill that void within me with football. And obviously when you're good at football, there's a lot of things that come with that. Your social media starts to blow up. You start to get a bunch of DMs, you know, you get a lot of attention, do a lot of interviews, you know, get invited to all these national camps and stuff like that. And I loved it, bro. I loved the lights and the cameras and the attention that it brought me. But halfway through my college career, really once I got to UCLA, dude, I had never felt so empty in my life. Like, I was at the pinnacle of what I thought was the best life I could ever live. And dude, I was in the worst mental shape that I could have ever been in. And that just left me wondering, like, man, is this it? Like, dude, I became the best football player I could be. I'm at one of the biggest schools. I know one of the best coaches. And I'm sitting there with my hands empty, you know, but I'm tired because I'm working so hard. But dude, I was so unfulfilled. And I was so lost, and I was so angry still. And I was so sour and bitter. And I was just broken, lost. But at the same time, I was mad at myself. Because I was like, bro, you're exactly where you want to be right now. And you're not enjoying it. You know what I mean? So I fell into that trap of like beating myself up. And so, long story short, bro, I experienced God firsthand. I was at this church camp and, dude, I literally entered his presence. Like, I felt him. I saw him right before me. It was like this light. I like to think I got like transported into heaven. And bro, I heard so many voices around me singing, praising God. And like, dude, I fell to my knees and I just cried. Because I had never felt that sort of love, peace, and joy. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you. The words that come out of my mouth right now will not even paint a quarter of the picture or the feeling. And since that day, man, it's been a rough journey. I'm not going to lie. It was hard to let go of myself and to let go of all the things I accomplished. Dude, unlike a lot of people, I actually had a really good upbringing. And a lot of people would see that and be like, all right, you know, if I had that, I'd be good. And I was good, but it's hard to let that stuff go. It's hard to let the past go, first and foremost. It's hard for anybody to do that. It's hard to let go of the bad things, but it's really hard to let go of the good things of the past. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now.
Wow, that's crazy. You were on UCLA. You would think, like, you know, that's a D1 college, you know, heart of California.
Yeah.
You know, you guys play in the Rose Bowl, right?
Yep.
That's you guys' stadium.
Every home game.
I'm a huge football fan, so I love college football.
Yeah, bro.
So it's crazy that's so sick that you're a college football player, bro. Props to you, dog.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I tried to get a D1 scholarship, but I was asked, dog. So you just gotta see it how it is, bro. But I know you told me you had a good upbringing and stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever you felt down and alone, did you ever call back at your parents and be like, hey, like, I'm struggling with like my mental health. I feel sad. I feel depressed.
Yeah, I did. I came to them, but I wasn't fully transparent with them because I thought I was strong enough to do it on my own.
Uh-huh.
You know, as a man, we're all taught, bro. Like, you're strong, bro. Like, you shouldn't show emotion or you shouldn't be weak around other people. Like, that's just kind of what society likes to teach us, you know what I mean? And we're taught by a lot of people out there that you just have to be hard, you know what I mean? You have to be tough and just ignore it and work harder. Nobody cares, work harder. We've all heard that. So that's kind of what my mentality was. I just put my head down, worked, grinded through it, and I tried to use it to my advantage, you know what I mean, rather than just talk about it, because in my mind, talking about it did nothing. So they were always there for me, and they were great resources and great help, but I didn't always go to them because I was prideful and I wanted to do it on my own. Yeah.
So I know obviously you had that moment, you know, you were in the church, right? Were you at church?
Yeah.
Yeah. After that moment, did you feel like, okay, I have to turn my life around? Like, I have to make changes to make myself feel better?
Yeah, there's a verse that says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And I knew the truth then and there, that God was real.
Mm-hmm.
Because before that, bro, I was like, is God real? Like, I don't know. I always went to kind of went to church, kind of listened, you know. But until I experienced it firsthand, then I was like, all right, it's real. And so the truth set me free, right? And I knew what the truth was, but I didn't follow it. I didn't listen. I had a girlfriend at the time, and we'd been together for a long time, and we just weren't living in alignment with how God says to live. And me being comfortable in my ways and comfortable with my career and my football and all the attention and everything, it's just comfortable lifestyle, bro. I'm telling you. And like, it's so easy to just settle into that and become complacent in that. And that's what I was. I was comfortable. I was complacent. And so honestly, for about 2 years after that, bro, I just kind of ignored him. And it wasn't till some things went on that I decided to trust him, kind of like Ellis, with everything. And since that day, bro, like, everything in my life has been multiplied by at least 1,000. And I'm not kidding. Like, my bank account is multiplied by actually like 100,000 more, 100x. My relationship now with my fiance, she's incredible. My businesses, everything, bro, everything changed since that moment. And so, yeah, just being real, bro, it was probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know why? Because you're not battling against somebody else like you do on the field. There's not an opponent per se. Because the opponent, a lot of people think in Christianity is the devil. That's false. The devil in Christianity is already defeated by Jesus. The biggest opponent is yourself. Because you don't allow God to work in your life because of pride or sin or any of these other things. There's a long list of them.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine you were in a boxing ring, bro, and it was the exact copy of who you are now. Who would win?
I would say nobody, right?
Nobody. Right. And that's what it kind of was. I was just fighting against myself. And I would throw myself a right hook, but I'd get hit right back. You know what I mean? So it was this wrestle between who I am and who I know I should be and what I know I should do. And it's been the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like, I used to think, God, I'm going to turn to you and you're going to make my life great. Furthest thing from the truth, bro. It made my life difficult. But there's beauty in that difficulty, because in difficulty comes growth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you've experienced that because you're an entrepreneur and you've sat here with people and you know how that feels.
Yeah.
And so I'm very grateful for that, but it's been incredibly difficult to let myself go.
Mm-hmm. So I know you went through a lot of stuff, right? Where was the moment where you felt like I have to make a group, or I want to give back to my community and make sure that I don't want people to feel like they're in this fight alone, and that we can unite together and make a bigger difference?
Yeah, honestly, bro, I've always kind of felt alone. And not because there wasn't people around me that I couldn't hang out with or anything like that. I always had people around me, and I had great friends, great parents. I knew I wasn't alone, but I always felt alone in the sense of like, there's nobody really here that's trying to achieve or accomplish what I want to accomplish physically, financially, spiritually, mentally, none of those things. Like, there's people here, I know for a fact, and people in Albuquerque, there's people like that, especially men like that. And so I kind of just felt alone. Like I said, I was transitioning from who I was to who I am now and who's God calling me to be. And so I was like, man, it was honestly just to kind of help myself. It sounds selfish, but it's true. I understand, and everybody out there understands, that you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. And I looked around, and the people around me were doing nothing but tearing me down. Their energy was always negative, always complaining. They had no ambitious ideas. They had no business ideas. They were fine just getting by paycheck to paycheck. And I was like, all right, if I'm the 5 people that I surround myself with, I don't want to be around these people anymore. Nothing against them. I love them. So that being said, God just gave me this idea. And it was, hey, you're going to start a Bible study. It's called a Bible study, but it's really not like a typical Bible study. But anyway, he said it's going to only be for men, and it's going to change the city of Albuquerque. And so that's when it started, bro. This was about August of 2024 is when it began. And yeah, that's really it, bro. I wanted to surround myself with men of God who are hungry and ambitious to be more than what they are.
Mm-hmm. So how does it feel when your friend hits you up and obviously you didn't know him at the time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like I want to join. I want to see what this is all about. How does that make you feel? Because you kind of started this whole thing.
It was incredible, man. And it's a funny story. He slid up on my Instagram story, and the day that he slid up, I was like, man, nobody's kind of slid up on my story in a long time. Like, I don't think it's really working. I'm not gonna post today. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it. There might be one, and it was him. And he slid up and he came, bro. And let me just tell you, man, since the day he came to now, it's two different people. And it doesn't make sense. It makes absolutely no sense how he was able to change this way. Like you asked me how it was done, and I have a one-word answer. Jesus. Seriously. Dude, it's incredible, man. Even just in this last month, dude, his monthly income, like the energy, the fitness, dude, everything is just, you can't explain it with words. Like this is the stuff I'm trying to get at. It's incredible, bro.
Yeah, I've known him for a while. You know,
Yeah.
he's always been a sharp kid, by the way.
Yeah, always.
He's never been a jackass. We'll let that out there in the air, right?
Yeah.
But because obviously, you know, I have him on Instagram, my personal page. For me, in my lens, I'm like, he has like a spark to him. Like
Yes,
he's on
bro.
fire. Like
Yeah, bro.
Like he fucking picked himself up.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, damn, dog. Like
Dude, so the biggest the group ever got at once before Ellis was about 20 dudes in a room at once. Bro, now we overflowing with like 40 consistently, and we got dudes digitally on Zoom.
And it's
Dude,
a room meant for 5 people, bro. The
bro,
conference
literally,
room is
it's
for
a
5
tiny
people.
conference room, and bro, he has people from other states trying to join, bro. He even has girls trying to join a men's Bible study, bro. Like, I'm dead serious, bro. But this is all credit to him, and like, I can't explain how much how important of a role he plays in Men of Valor, and even in my growth, bro. Like, you see him running, and I see him running ahead, and dude, like multiplying his life in every aspect, and it's like, all right, it fires me up because I'm a competitive guy, and ain't no way I'm gonna let him level up, and I'm here not leveling up. You know what I mean? But it's just a contagious fire, and dude, when you see somebody go from level 1 to level 10, and his level 1, bro, is amazing. Like, he's an amazing guy.
yeah.
But dude, now it's like tenfold, and it's the most amazing thing.
How is the energy in the room? Like what are you guys really like preaching about in the room? Like
Okay, so this is huge because it's way different than what you would expect. You know, you expect a Bible study to just be like you go and one person talks the whole time. No. In this group, everybody has a voice. In this group, Tyler's not the big dog. I'm not the big dog. We're just guiding it under God. We're just servants. We're just servants of God. You know, he's giving me my props, and I appreciate the encouragement. And, you know, I have to give him his props back because if it wasn't for him being obedient to God, if it wasn't for him starting the Bible study, if it wasn't for him posting that one day, I wouldn't be here. His obedience and him serving God led me to becoming who I am today because now I found God to the fullest extent, right? And so now that I found God, I lead others to God. And it's not out of a place of me wanting to be righteous or me wanting to be bigger than anybody else. It's really just I've seen what he's done in my life, and it's so amazing and so great that I can't stay quiet. I can't keep it to myself because the way Jesus loved me so much, and he calls us to love each other that way. The first commandment is love God with all your heart, and the second one is love your neighbor as yourself. And if you really love somebody, you want what's best for them. So now that I love everybody, I don't care if you're rich, I don't care if you're poor, I don't care if you go to the gym or if you don't. I love you the way Christ loves me. And so I'll speak to you the truth in love, not out of a place of judgment of like, oh, you're going to hell. No, out of a place of like, hey, man, I've been in your struggle. I've been where you are. I have a solution for you. And if you're willing, I'd like to share that with you. It's not forcing Christ on nobody, how some people do. I think we mix things up. We missed the plot as Christians that this isn't something that you force on somebody. This is something that you share, and you allow the other person to make their own choice. And if they don't do it, you love them regardless. It doesn't matter if they go to church or not. You're not a Christian, but I love you as my brother regardless. I don't need you to serve Christ for me to love on you regardless. Regardless of what you do, bro, I love you. And it sounds crazy, a man telling you, I love you. What does that mean? What does love really look like? The Bible says that there's no greater love than a friend who gives their life for another friend. That's what Jesus did for me. I don't deserve his love. I don't deserve his grace. I've known the truth, and even knowing everything he did for me, I still turn my back on him. And he still loves me. That's true love, like love that can't be explained. Love that he's willing to forgive me every single time after I'm the guilty one for putting him on that cross. My sin and shame put him on that cross. My sin and my mistakes put him on there. And even then, he willingly died for me. And he said, Lord, forgive them because they don't know what they do. To the same people that crucified him, to the same people that murdered him and abused him, he forgave them in that moment. There's no greater love than that. That when somebody does something bad to you, instead of repaying that bad with something much worse, you repay it with good. And it's also liberating because when you live that kind of lifestyle, you have no enemies. You have no enemies. Somebody might want to come do you dirty out of hate and envy, but you just shrug it off. You take it, take the blow, and go about your life. You know, I don't know if you've heard the saying when Christians say turn the other cheek. Turn the other cheek doesn't mean like let people walk all over you and abuse you. It means just take it, let it roll, and keep moving. Don't give it more importance than it needs to be. Because the moment you hit back, guess what? They're hitting back. And it becomes a fight of hitting back and hitting back. You did this to me, I do this to you, did this back to you. And before you know it, you just dug two graves. That's what revenge is digging two graves for that person and for yourself. But if you truly want to live and you truly want to be the best version of yourself, you got to let these things go. And you got to let Christ take control, give you true peace, give you true joy. I'm at the point, bro, where I don't care. I don't care about people's opinions. I don't care about how they look at me. I don't care if they approve of me or not. There was a time, bro, when I did, when that's all I lived for, the acceptance and the approval of others. I wanted to be in the spotlight. I wanted to be the cool kid in school, and I never was, bro. I was the opposite of that. I was a skinny kid that got bullied. At one point in middle school, I got bullied so hard that I cried in class in front of everyone. That's something that traumatized me and it marked me to this day, that I had such low self-esteem that I didn't think I was worth anything, dude. And God used that for the best, because without the struggle, without being down there at the bottom, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I wouldn't understand how to help other men that are in the position that I used to be in. But now that I see that, I know how to stand up for those that are less fortunate. I know how to stand up for those that can't stand up for themselves. So now that's my mission. That's my purpose. I found out what it is. I found out why God created me. I found out why every struggle in my life happened. It all led me to this. It all led me to this moment here talking to you, telling you about my life experience. There would be no testimony without tribulation. If I hadn't gone through the troubles and the struggles and the obstacles, I wouldn't be the strong kind of person I am today. And I have so much more to improve on, right? That's the beauty of the life that we've chosen as entrepreneurs, as men, is that there's growth every single day. It never stops. And the moment you stop growing, it's not that you stay mediocre. There's either up or down. There's no in between. You can't just stay flatline and stay there. No. You're either growing or you're falling. You're either growing, living, or you're falling and dying. There's no in between. So you know how it is. You know, every day is a day for better. Every day is an opportunity for success. And looking at the way that God has given me a different perspective of life, I'm grateful for every moment. I live every moment to the fullest now. This right here, my mind is not thinking about other things right now. I'm fully present in the moment. And I'm glad that you gave me this opportunity to come here for me and Tyler, bro. Like, I'm grateful for Tyler every time that we do Bible study, every time that I hang out with him, every single moment, bro, I enjoy it to the fullest. And we got to understand that tomorrow isn't promised. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. You absolutely don't know if this is the last conversation we're going to have. You plan on moving. You have your plans. I have my plans. I have absolutely no idea if I'll ever see you again. But in this moment, I'm going to enjoy it to the absolute max capacity that I can. Why? Because these are things that people take for granted. They're so stressed and worried about the things that they want to chase, that they're so worried about the future. And the future doesn't exist. What we have right now is what exists. It's called the present. Enjoy the present. Enjoy the gift that God gave you. Sometimes we're also stuck in the past. about what happened back then, about what this guy did to me. And you're so stuck in the past that you can't enjoy the blessings that you have right now. For people watching, like, you guys don't understand, but we live in one of the best countries in the world. Just being an American citizen is already a blessing in itself. So many people that don't have cars, so many people that don't even have simple shoes, can't even brush your teeth, don't have food to eat. But here we have abundance. We have like so much that we could never like begin to comprehend how much we have to be grateful for. So, yeah, bro.
What do you guys feel like? I feel like men nowadays feel like they've kind of lost their
Masculinity.
masculinity, their sense of purpose in life. You know, like I've sat down. I've been blessed that people have came and sat across from me, and they've been multimillionaires, and they're sick of like how men are like
Yeah,
super
bro.
feminine. You know, they can't take care of their families.
Right.
You know, they kind of lost their sense of purpose in life. What direction do you guys want to kind of revert back to men nowadays to like, hey, we got to get back on track. We
Yeah.
need to, you know,
Yeah.
fulfill what God wants us to do.
I want Tyler to expound on this because I think he'd be perfect. But before I let him, I want to start by saying that whether you believe God is real or not, you're going to know one day, right? And here's a risk that I take. If I choose to live my life as a Christian, I have absolutely nothing to lose. But if I choose to forsake what I believe, there's a possibility that I lose everything because that's what's on the line right here is eternity. It's eternity. And people don't understand that the life that we're living right now is nothing. It's a speck of dust. Before you know it, it's going to be gone. I know you guys have experienced like how the years are just flying by. Life
Crazy.
is just flying by. Before you know it, bro, we're going to be old men. So right now we're in the prime of our lives, and the difference between most people is if we take advantage of our youth for the best or if we let it slide. Now going back to your question about purpose, since I believe that God is real, I know he's real. I believe that the only way to know what your true purpose is to go to the one that created you. Because he created you with a purpose. He created you perfectly. He knows what he made you. He gave you a certain temperament, a certain character, a certain way and perspective of seeing things made for the specific purpose that he has for your life, right? So I think there's so much depression, anxiety, and lack of masculinity because people aren't tapped in with the one that created them. And the moment you tap in with him, you'll figure out what your purpose is.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Back to your question. What direction do we want to point men towards? Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah, a lot of men that lost their manly touch and became super feminine. I feel like they can't take care of their families no more.
Yeah. It's really reminding them of what they are. Bro, if a man became feminine, he's not feminine. He's just not listening to the real masculine side of who he is. You know what I'm saying? It's honestly, bro, we're just trying to tell people the truth. And the truth is, you're a man, you're a leader. As a man, you have responsibilities, you have duty. If there's a woman in your life, it's your responsibility to protect her and care for her. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, provide. And these are just truths. This isn't like my opinion, although I believe it to be true. But this is truth that comes from God, right? And so what we're trying to show people is like, hey, you're a man, step up and be a man. And I think a lot of men aren't that nowadays because we don't need to be. Like, think about it. In order to be intimate with a woman 2,000 years ago, you'd have to ride in on horseback, take your sword out, cut some dude's head off, and then maybe you'd find a wife, and then maybe you could, like, get with her, essentially. Nowadays, bro, type in 2 words on your phone, and you can have spiritual and mental sex with thousands of women. So that drive is gone. Men don't need to be as ambitious anymore because we're comfortable sexually. I mean, we get fulfilled and we get serotonin and dopamine from just scrolling. I mean, you can get insane dopamine hits or serotonin hits, whatever it is, just from watching a video. You know what I mean? We don't have to be creative anymore, or we don't have to be outside working with our hands as much anymore. You know what I mean? So there's some societal reasons, I guess you could call it, as to why men are losing the touch with them. But I think it's just we're just straying further and further from the truth. And the truth is that men are the leaders. A man is biologically built to lead. And that's true for leading women as well. And you'll see a man. If a man is super feminine, his woman's going to be masculine because she has to be. Not necessarily because she wants to be, although there are some women who enjoy that, which is fine. But if you're a masculine man, you can put a woman into her feminine, what she was created to be, and you can lead her and provide her. So what we're trying to do is remind men of the truth of who they were created to be. And I don't believe that men were created to be lazy. I don't think men were created to be dependent on a substance or on porn or on anything like that. I believe God created you in his image. And that image isn't dependent on weed or cocaine or any other drug, alcohol. It's not dependent on any addictions. It's not dependent on somebody's validation on me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we're just trying to remind men of who they truly are and who they were created to be. And dude, I believe that inside of you, bro, is the greatest man that's ever lived. Inside of him is the greatest man that's ever lived. Why do I believe that? Because you were made in God's image. And God is the greatest man that ever lived. So if that's true, then I believe that. If the Bible says and God says that that's true, I believe it to be true. And so what we're trying to get people to understand is who you truly are. Because tell me this, do you know what you should do and how you should do it? And when you should do it? In like a business or like we're fitness. Okay, so most people when I ask that, they say, all right, when it comes to fitness, I know what I should do. I know I shouldn't eat this. I know I should eat good. I know I know I need to lift, and I know how to have it routined in and scheduled in. So if you know what you should do, when you should do it, and how you should do it, why aren't you doing it? Right? Mm-hmm. So basically what we're trying to get people to understand is like, if you understand who you are, truly, you can become anything that you want.
So when you guys post those videos of you guys talking about like God's word and, you know, really trying to, you guys say a lot of strong words and stuff like that. How do you guys handle hate and criticism? I'm sure you guys gotten that or.
Of course. I mean, you know, bro, it's going to come with whatever you do.
Yeah.
Whether you bring God in or not, you're going to get that hate.
It becomes a muscle, bro. You got to put the reps in. You know, there's no growth in strength without resistance. And I know, like, I didn't start posting until Tyler pushed me to post. This was a conversation that we had. If I would have had this idea by myself, I probably wouldn't have done it. But because I had the right person in my corner pushing me and sharpening me, he pushed me to post. And I remember it was a Sunday when he's like, did you post your video yet? And I'm like, nah. And a couple hours passed by. And he's like, you better post your video. And I was like, all right, bro. So I hop on the camera. At this moment, I'm camera shy. I don't know how to talk to a camera, bro. Like, it's not something I've ever done or considered doing. And I just do it. And that one was the most important. The first one was the most important. The first video I ever made was the most important. Because I wouldn't get to the other videos that have thousands of likes if I hadn't started with my first video that got like 5 likes. You know, I had to go through the process. And with the haters and this and that, you have to be strong in who you are. Because if you start letting people tell you who you are, you forget who God made you to be. So it came into a point of like true confidence that I know who I am. I know I serve God. And I don't know if you know who God is, but I'm going to tell you who God is to me. God is everything. God is the author and creator of this world that we're living in. Nothing was made without him. And everything that we know was by his own wisdom and intelligence. So I like to think it this way. We see what we see, and we kind of limit our understanding to what we see. But way past what we see, there's a whole universe and planets and galaxies that we never could understand or have even discovered. And that's child's play for him. He made it. There's nothing to him. So when you put in comparison how big the universe is and you can't comprehend it, think about how much bigger God is, who organized it, who made it. He's the author of everything. There's nothing impossible for him. Nothing, absolutely nothing is impossible for my Lord and Savior. So when I grab on to that confidence and I grab on to that reality in my life, who's going to stop me? Who's going to stop me? I'm going to just say it this way, man. I'm not scared of anybody anymore. It could be the biggest dude, strongest dude, bro. And I'm a realistic person. Like, I know I could go up to an MMA fighter and they would absolutely murder me. But I don't care. I'm not scared of anybody, dude. Why? Because I know who I serve. If God is for me, who can be against me? That's a verse in the Bible. And realizing that the all-powerful is backing me, I got to walk into every room knowing who I represent. I don't represent myself. I represent God. So every single thing that I do is for him and for his honor and for his glory. I'm a citizen of heaven. Before I'm a citizen of the United States, which I am super proud of, I know that like in the Hispanic community, there's all this tension, wanting to rep your country, this and that. Okay, well, so why don't you live over there? Respectfully. You're here for a reason.
Yeah.
You're here because there's something good here.
Yeah.
And so, just like before I hop back into the conversation, I don't agree with Mexicans or me. I'm Panamanian. My parents were born in Panama. Repping another flag on American soil, that doesn't make sense to me. Because if you're so proud of your country and you put your country above the country that you were born in, why not go live back there? I'm proud of where I came from. I'm proud of like my parents being immigrants and how they came here. But I'm not trying to go back to Panama, dude. I'm happy here, bro. I enjoy the blessings of this country. I enjoy all the opportunities, bro. This right here is an opportunity that you wouldn't have in other countries. So I'm just super grateful to be here. But I know who I represent. I know I go anywhere I go in God's name. And there's nobody greater than God. So think about it this way. Like, let's say, for example, we have the most richest person. Let's say Elon Musk, for example. If he hypes you up and he's like, yo, shawty, that's my dog. Like, that's my boy. You go around walking and be like, yo, like, I don't care what you say. Elon Musk is rocking with me, right? I take that 1,000 steps further. I don't care what you say. God loves me. God supports me. God has my back. God has a purpose for my life, and he's guiding me each and every step. There's also, like, peace in that because I don't have to wonder what's next. I don't have to worry about tomorrow. I don't have to worry about if I'm going to have my bills paid, if this or that, if this business doesn't go well, or, like, if I can't trust somebody else. No. I trust God, bro. He never fails me. He'll never fail me, dude. So that's why I trust. And when I have that level of trust and confidence in my Creator, bro, I walk around with so much peace and joy. Like, I just do everything to the best of my ability, and I put it in his hands. Like I said before, everything I am, I put it in his hands. It belongs to him. I belong to him. And think about it, bro. If he created the world, if I just become a tool in his hands, he can do whatever he wants. He can do so much more greater things through me than I could have done by myself.
Mm-hmm. Why do you feel like nowadays that I feel like it's across the board with every religion? I feel like every religion people start to become unreligious or not taking their religion seriously. I feel like a lot of people are kind of getting consumed with, day-to-day activities with drugs, violence, lust. Why do you think that that's an issue today?
It's always been an issue. As much as the Bible is a religious text, it's also a history book. And dude, even in the oldest books of the Bible, there's cities full of people that were falling into lust and going away from God to the point where God felt he needed to flood the earth. You know what I mean? Because it was so bad. And so I don't think it's more of an issue now. I just think we're more aware of it just because we have access to being connected to so many people. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think there's a lot more distractions nowadays too. It's very easy to just ignore that responsibility or like even like going to church or like whatever you want to do. It's very easy to get distracted and do something else. You know what I mean? But also I just think that slowly but surely we're just kind of going away from the truth. Just drifting slowly as a society. I mean, we see that. I can point out 10 different things right now that I can think of off the top of my head, but I'll save that for another conversation. But yeah, that's what I would say.
I want to add too that this country was based a Christian country. It was based with godly values and morals. This is no longer a Christian country. This is no longer a country that honors God. This is a country, it has become a country that seeks self-serving and puts everybody's individual interests above everybody else's, right? We live in a country that would accept immigrants, right? That the whole purpose of this country was being built by immigrants to support other immigrants, and everybody support each other and grow. Now we've become selfish. Now it's all about me, 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 and now that's the results that we're getting. Those are the results that we're getting, where people are concerned about their self benefit, that they forget that there's more out there. There's more out there. When you do good for others, you receive so much more good than when you just try to do good for yourself.
Uh, I know. Let me flip the question because we talked about men, right? Now let's talk about women. So obviously you guys are bright, sharp young dudes. You already have a fiance, right?
Yeah.
How does like men in in your shoes that loves God to the fullest, really submit back to God, finding a good woman nowadays? Because I feel like a lot of women are starting to become promiscuous, or
Yeah.
they kind of lost a lot of self respect for themselves, and they've came from fatherless, motherless situations.
Yeah. It, I think a lot of people like to point the finger at women, but I think a lot of it has to do with the men as well at the same time. Like, it's not totally entirely men's fault, that women, I guess, have turned to certain things in their lives. But, I mean, if men stopped watching porn would go bankrupt. And so women wouldn't be objectified in that way anymore.
The
You know what I mean?
OnlyFans industry as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, a lot of that has to do with how men treat women. You know what I mean? And of course, it's the women are accountable as well. But yeah, and I think the fatherless home thing, right? It's a father who wasn't there, which is the man's fault ultimately. You know what I mean? And that has just been a long. We can get into that later, but it's just like, why is that happening? You know what I mean? And that's something that we've drifted from, the nuclear family. And so, as far as finding a good woman nowadays, the only way I know how to do it is with God. I can't see another way to truly trust a woman nowadays unless she believes in God and is truly committed to what I believe in. You know what I mean?
So what's your guys' take on people? And obviously I'm actually Muslim, right? I'm sure
Right.
he knows that. But what's your guys' take on other people that do you guys have friends that are in other religions
Yes.
that take
Yeah.
their religion seriously?
Several.
Yeah. Does
Mhm.
that conflict with you guys with your guys' religious beliefs at all?
No, not at all. I think if I can't be surrounded with other people that don't believe the same thing as me, number one, that just means that I'm arrogant and prideful and I think I'm above you. Like, if I can't hang out with a Muslim or an atheist or a Buddhist or whatever it is, like, dude, I can see you as a human being. You know what I mean? And have a conversation about something else. And you having different beliefs doesn't compromise who I am. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily agree with you. You know what I mean? But we can still talk, bro. We can still be friends. And say, I believe I know the truth, right? And you believe you know the truth. All right. Like, how are we ever going to find out if we don't sit down and talk? You know what I mean? So that's my perspective on it. Like, dude, God called me to love you.
Would you guys be open to religious battle if someone wanted to?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
And not
would
even a
love it.
battle. I wouldn't use the word battle, because the word battle means that somebody has to win. I come into every conversation not wanting to win, but wanting to learn, wanting to understand. This is a sense of humility that only God could give me, bro, because before I really dialed in with God, I had an ego on me. It's like, oh, I'm right. I've built myself up so much. And my ego didn't come from like a bad place. Like I said before, from a place of being down, being bullied and looked down upon, I had to build myself up. There was no other way. I had to. And so my ego was more of a defense mechanism of, I'm not going to let someone push me back down from where I came from. So I had a shield. I had a wall up of insecurity. And it wasn't until God gave me true confidence, true love, and affection that now I walk around with humility. I'm not always right, bro. I've realized that even with everything that I've learned, I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing, bro. So I just put my trust in him and I let him guide my decisions. Um, and I don't even think it's about a battle, about who's right or wrong. It's more about, you know what, dude? I want what's best for you. let me offer you what I can give you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you offer me what you could give me. And let's come together and unite.
Yeah, bro. I'm a seeker of the truth, and I studied religion at UCLA and here at UNM. Like, I studied them all, and so I'm totally open, bro. Like, if the truth will come, the truth will reveal itself, whether it's Muslim or Buddhist or Christian, like whatever it is. I believe the truth will come through. You know what I mean? So like, I've sat down with countless people, you know what I mean, and countless different religions, and I have found the truth to be Christianity.
That's, I mean, I'm glad you guys really
Of course, bro.
enjoy your religion and love it.
Let me add
It-
something too. Something that makes Christianity different from Islam and every other religion is that every other religion will tell you that you have to do this, or that to be saved. Christianity, as far as I know, is the only religion that says that you can never do enough. For a holy and pure God, you will never be sinless and spotless enough to please him, because that's just how powerful and holy he is. So that's what the whole point of Jesus is to cover those sins that you could never cover. Because realistically, bro, I'm going to sin later on, dude. There's going to come a point where I might fall into the sin. The sin might not be crazy, but I'm going to sin in one way, shape, or form because I have a body full of sin. I'm born into this flesh. This flesh wants the sinful nature. This flesh wants to sleep with women. This flesh wants to do bad things, to cheat and to steal. So I have to tap into my spiritual life, my spiritual health, so I can overcome that. I can feed my spiritual so much to where my flesh isn't awake anymore. And that's what it means to crucify your flesh, what the Bible talks about. The same way that Jesus crucified himself for us, we're called to crucify our fleshly desires, which is like lust, which is anger, which is hate, things of that nature. And the opposite is the spiritual, that when you're so tied in with God and the Lord, that you start exhibiting fruits of the Spirit, love, compassion, humility, joy, peace. These are all things that come from God, because everything that's good comes from God. If something negative is in your life, anxiety, any type of feeling, any type of outcome negative, is not from God. It's from the enemy. But everything that's good is from God, because God is good. God is love. God is the purest form of the maximum expression of love. That's him. So that's one thing I've discovered.
Bro, you're killing it, dog.
Yeah, bro.
You're well spoken, bro.
I'm going to say one thing. This isn't me talking to you. You know, you've had a bunch of people on this podcast. I don't know how many have talked to you about God, but there's a reason why I'm talking to you in this moment, right? I don't know what the reason is. I don't know what God wants to do in your life. I don't know how he wants to touch you. But, bro, the way that my ideas flow and the verses that I remember and my ideas just compound and stack to come out fluently the way they do, bro, it's not me. It's not me. And if you watch my videos, the Holy Spirit, God, just takes control, bro. And this is a product of me just being open and just being, God, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do nothing. Take control. There's a verse that says that God's power is made perfect in the weak. So the moment that you realize that you're weak and that you can't do nothing, that's the moment that God is like, all right, now that you're humble enough to realize that it's all me, let me show you what I can do. And that's what my life has been this past month and recently, is me just letting him do what he wants and seeing the outcome.
How do you, because I know we talked about revenge and not getting back at people that did you dirty and stuff like that. Obviously, you know, that's a hard thing to people to swallow and shit like that. Even for me, bro, like, dude, I can have a temper and like want to whoop someone's ass that did me dirty and shit, because I really try to make sure I treat everyone the way I want to be treated and shit like that. How do you guys really, you know, preach that and you know,
and live it?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me still, bro. Like, somebody disrespects me, I take disrespect very personally, bro. And honestly, I just want to go and smack them, bro. And it comes down to understanding that the person that did that to you, they're dealing with something else. You get to this level of understanding to where you cut me off in traffic, all right, you might be having a bad day. You know what I mean? It's like these little things don't bother you anymore because you're so opened up to this bigger thing in your life. So when it comes, like, is there a specific example you're thinking about? of like somebody that did you dirty or something like that?
Dude, bro, I feel like, man, I always try to help my homies out, and I let them borrow money, dog.
Yeah.
And like, it's funny, bro.
Okay, watch this.
It's funny, bro. When you let someone borrow money, right? When I lend someone money, I feel like I'm the one chasing them to like
Yeah.
get the money back.
Of
I'm
course.
like, bro, like I did you a solid, you know?
Yeah, bro. So then, are you lending them money to get the money back, or because you just want to be a good man and just let them have the money?
I mean, I want to have a helping hand,
Right.
but like obviously I want it back, you know, because that's my money. I earned it, you know.
Of course. And see, from my perspective, if I was in your situation, I'd say I'm gonna give you the money because that's who I am. God made me. He blessed me with this stewardship over his money. So I'm going to give it to you as freely as he gave it to me. And I'm going to do it not because I expect anything from you, because I have a good heart and that's who I am. And that's how God gives to us, right? So whether you give the money back to me or not, I'm totally fine. I'm totally fulfilled. And there's no void left in me because I didn't do it for you. I did it out of who I am. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we can go deep into it. I don't think we have time for that, but it basically comes down to understanding who you truly are, being totally fulfilled at all times through the Lord, and just understanding like, hey, he might be bankrupt right now. Like, that's the least of my worries. Like, money comes and goes. And it's almost like people say the law of detachment. That's a big term that people use, but people don't understand that that's actually biblical. It talks about that a lot. So the biblical law of detachment, I guess you could say.
I do want to add, though, that we should be good judges of character.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
you should kind of tell, like, if this guy is or isn't who he says he is. The Bible talks about the fruits of the Spirit, that you can know somebody is a true Christian if they exhibit certain characteristics, right? So you can tell that somebody's going to pay you back if they're that kind of person, you know? So I wouldn't lend money to just anybody because, like you said, you had to work for that. And easy come, easy go if you treat it that way, right? So it took a lot for you to earn that money. You gotta kind of like make it to where there's no way that you could lose it, because you have to protect your assets, protect yourself. So when it comes to lending money, and I haven't even gotten to this point of getting so big that I lend money, but I know that when I do get there, I'm gonna ask him, all right, what are you gonna do with this money? What's your game plan? Show me. Step by step, actions. And once you show me these actions that you're serious about what you're talking about, that you're actually going to use it for something good and beneficial, all right, I can trust you. But if you're just asking for money just to get it, to me, like, what kind of man are you? As a man, you're supposed to go and get yours. I shouldn't come here asking you for money. I think that's the worst thing you could do as a man, is ask another man for a handout. Like, what kind of dude are you, bro? Like, you were created to be fruitful and multiply. That's what I believe. I believe the word of God. To be fruitful and multiply means to go and get yours. Obviously, we help each other as men, but it's not about consuming. I don't go to Tyler and ask him, yo, like, you're a day trader, run me 10 bands, because he has it like that. No, he had to work for that. And the same way that he has to work for his bread, I have to work for mine. But when he's down and I know what kind of man he is, I'll help him up. But when I'm really down, he'll do the same for me. Why? Because we know what kind of character we have within each other. We know that at the end of the day, we're both men of God, and that I will never do him dirty. Why? Because I serve somebody much higher than him. I serve God. And I know that if I do somebody wrong, I don't just answer to that person, I answer to God. So as far as like lending money or just anything, just anybody that you associate with, you should have a good moral compass and a good way to judge people rightfully, to tell, like, yeah, this guy is who he says he is. I could trust this man. For me personally, like, you being Christian and being like locked in with Christ, that's a big, big green flag for me. But there's also fake Christians, right? But you will know them by their fruits. So if you walk the talk, that's a big sign to me that you are who you say you are and that I can trust you. But if your life is a mess and you can't even wake yourself up early in the morning, you're not disciplined enough to lead yourself into the gym and go build a business for yourself, I'm not going to trust you. Your actions aren't reflective of somebody that deserves trust.
My perspective of money's a little different, bro. I'll lend it to you, bro. If you need it, cool. If you don't need it, All right, whatever.
He just has more money than me. That's why.
Nah, man.
Yeah, he looks rich, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not, man. I'm spiritually rich, but like I come up from a place of abundance. I know there's more money out there, dude. If I lent you some money and I don't get it back, it's not the end of the world. You need it more than I do, clearly. You know what I mean? There's more out there. It's God's money at the end of the day. Everything here belongs to Him. So I approach it from this abundance mindset. And then to your question, just forgive, bro. It's a big thing. Be able to forgive and let go and have grace with them.
Before we end today's podcast, I want you guys to address each other, the audiences, you guys' bond with each other, because you guys seem like you guys
Yeah.
are locked in, man.
Yeah, bro, definitely are. And it started just with the Bible study, but now, bro, we're brainstorming ideas for businesses, for nationwide campaigns, for clothing lines, for everything, bro, and really just become my brother. Like that's really what it becomes. You just become literally family, and that's what it's been.
How long have I known you for?
Maybe a year.
Yeah. So in this year, I've gained a relationship with him, a deeper connection than I have with anybody. We have the same unity of thought, the same goals, the same mind, the same spirit. I don't have to talk to him every single day, but every time that I see him, I know that's my dog. I know that's my brother, right? So I go to war for him. He's on his deathbed, I'm there. He's going through struggles, I'm there. Anything that he needs, I'm there. So that's the type of people that you got to surround yourself with, is brothers and people that are willing to go to war with you. They're not going to abandon you when times get tough, right? He could become broke the next day. He's still my brother, regardless. I'm not his brother because of what he has. I'm his brother because of who he is as a man, just him. Who he is as a person, who he is as a character, who he is as a man that loves other people. So for those listening, whoever might be listening, you're not alone. You're not alone. The problem is you just haven't met the right people. You just haven't made the right circle, the right connections. But if you make an effort to go network and meet people, there's so many cool people out there that can help change your life. And they really want to pour into you. A lot of the most successful people that started from the ground up are the most generous people because they know what it takes to get there. And those are the type of people that are willing to give you a helping hand. But also, keep it in mind, do not take that for granted. Do not treat people's time as it's like if it's not valuable, because you know as an entrepreneur, every minute counts. It's crazy. Like this past month, I'm starting to feel it, bro. Like I'm running out of time to do the things that I do. And that's what I'm saying, that I might not be cutting hair anymore, because now my time isn't worth $40 an hour anymore. My time is worth more. And this is not like being cocky, but it's just the elevation of how you grow, that things start to change. And we gotta respect people for their time, for their generosity, and everything that they do for you.
Man, you guys very inspiring, bro. You know, I just met you, dog, but you know, you seem like a sharp young man, bro.
Thanks, man.
You're a cool ass dude,
You as
bro.
well, bro.
We
You
get
too,
for
man.
sure get some lunch and tap in sometime.
Of course, bro.
You know, you always been my dog and shit. I inspire you guys to do big things. Like I expect a lot of big things out of you guys. Grow this community. You know, bring men back to unity. You know,
To being men.
Yeah, to be back to being men. When I drop this YouTube link, I'm make sure I add you guys as like a company and stuff like that. The Zoom link, so you guys, if any men that's struggling,
Cool,
that
bro.
wants to join, they can join your guys' group and stuff like that. We're all in this fight together, right?
Yes, sir.
Amen,
Yeah.
bro.
Let's get it, bro.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
it's here for.
very appreciative of you, bro, and what you got going on. It's dope, man.
I got you, bro. And you know, before we end today's podcast, I'm gonna give a huge shout out to our two main sponsors. We got Hookah Kings and Marino Media, and I see you guys next time on the Smart Talk.